Okay, what's up? It's Thursday, and I'm super excited because today I have a fellow Aussie on with me today on IG Live. I have the triple threat, Emily Perry. Now, if you don't know Emily Perry, she is, as I said, a triple threat. She has done so many things. It's going to be longer than a 20-minute chat, yo. It is going to be quite a bit of a chat, bit of an interview, because this girl is such a triple threat. Like, she can dance, she can act, she can sing. She's just an all-round awesome person. So, like, letting you know. But if you don't know her yet, you're about to get to know her. This is her music playing in the background. But it's so awesome because I've only ever had two other Aussies on with this series. And it's always awesome to meet like fellow Aussies that, you know, are also just badass women as well. So I'm really, really excited to have her on today. And she's just on, so let's go for it. Let's see, she's just about to come in. Oh my God, hi Rhett, hi David. Here she is, here she is.
Hi,
It's the Emily Perry.
Second.
Oh my God, I'm excited. What are you about to do? What are you
My
about
Google,
to do?
no, my Google just decided to start playing some Dennis Floyd or some shit like that. So hello.
You're like, hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm so excited that you're on today.
I know.
And just like
Two
that we
Aussies
could
before me though. I'm offended.
I know, that's what I was saying.
I bet
I
they
was
were
like,
from Perth as well, weren't they?
no, they were from Sydney.
You're
Oh,
right.
well, one was
from Perth.
Newcastle. One was
Newcastle.
Newcastle and one was Sydney. So,
Oh,
yeah.
Everyone's about to drop off the live. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's like, I thought this was about music, not like Australia,
Well,
geography.
Yeah, they're coming to school.
Yeah, exactly. How are you though? How's everything been?
I'm good. It's been great. What about you? You look amazing as always.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been good. I mean, you know, given the circumstances of things, like it's, you know, interesting to like have to adjust and everything. So I was going to get a little bit more into that down the line. But yeah, I mean, this is all about you, girlfriend, because I was saying before, like, you are legit a triple threat. And honestly, so for those that don't know, we met at Saturdays at 7, because not just like a triple threat, but she also takes bomb photos. And I was like, what? So we met at Saturdays at 7. And yeah, when I started following you and just like finding out like what you were doing, who you were, the fact that you were Aussie, I was like, I need to like know more.
Well, you were performing at Saturdays and I heard your little intro. You're like, what's up? And I was like,
yeah, you could always
That's what
like,
it is.
yeah, you could tell the Aussie like language from a mile away. Like I was on a hike the other day and I heard it Aussie and I was like, where are you from?
Dude, I'm the kind of person where if someone's like on the phone and I can hear they're Australian, I'm like, should I interrupt? Like, I think I should.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know where you're from.
I know.
But, so you're from Sydney, Australia. When did you like, because, okay, let me get this straight. You're from Sydney, Australia. You moved to LA, but before you were doing music, you were actually a dancer. Is that right?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Melbourne, actually.
Oh, you're from Melbourne. Oh,
yeah,
fun.
But
Okay.
I moved to Sydney probably when I was like, I mean, we moved all around. It was Melbourne, Brisbane, Melbourne, and then finally Sydney when I was like 8 or something. So that's where I did like all my schooling, and I went to performing arts high schools, as they call them.
Nice. Which high school did you go to?
I went to APGS and I went to Brent Street.
Okay, I know Brent Street, but I don't know the other one.
Yeah, it was a good time. That's Brent Street's like where I really like.
Oh, yeah, where you like really got into it.
One would call it, you know. So yeah, I did start as a dancer, just like from a young age. That's always what I've done. I kind of knew going into like early teens that wasn't what I wanted to do. Not that I didn't love it. I really loved it, but I was like, mate, she ain't at the level. She's not at the level. So it's time to really like
step up it.
Just like do dance as like a second thing to music, because I always loved music. I was like the person that, you know, most dance kids hate having to do the mandatory singing class, whereas I was like, this is time to shit.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So I loved it, you know, singing solo competitions and all that.
Oh my God, that's what, like all the Eisteddfods and everything like that.
Yeah. When people were doing jazz Eisteddfods, I was doing singing country category Eisteddfods. So it was a fun time. So that's kind of when I decided, and then I did full-time dance for 2 years. When I was 15, 16. I think I finished when I was like just 17. So that's when I decided to come over here. And for the first while, it was like back and forth because I had to do, I mean, I'm sure you know about visas.
Well, I'm that really annoying person that's actually a citizen, so don't hate me. Don't log off. Don't log off.
Okay,
Don't
thanks
end the
guys.
chat.
I'm gonna head out. No
I hate
way.
that.
Why are you a
I always
citizen?
feel so
Who
bad
did
because
that
I
to
was. Who did that to you?
you? Was it
Well,
your
who are
mom?
you married to?
Yeah, it was like,
No, I was born here. Like my parents didn't plan it. My dad was working in the US at the time, and then I was born in the US, and then we moved to Australia. So I'm dual citizen.
so are both your parents American?
No, my dad is Swiss and my mom's Austrian.
I was about to say, are you even Australian? I'm not sure.
Like I am, but because I live there, so I am an Australian citizen. I'm a US citizen as well, but I'm also a Swiss citizen because my dad's Swiss. So
I can live in any continent basically.
so I really suck. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, are you kidding?
But
That's amazing. That's like what I get mad at my parents every
yeah, you're
every
like,
day.
why did
Every
you have
time
me
I
over
have to
there?
renew a visa, I'm like,
Yeah.
stopped. This could have been stopped if one of
Yeah.
you.
Well, because I know a lot of like my friends, because I like got from college, like a lot of my friends have had to go through the visa situation. So how has that affected like you releasing music in the sense of was there a time period that you weren't able to release music and stream because it was like an income, or like how did that kind of work?
No, so releasing music, streaming music, it doesn't matter. I can do it from anywhere in the world because I mean,
Gotcha.
they can't tell where you are, and you can't. That's a world thing, so they can't stop you from doing that. The
Right.
first year I came over here, I was applying, but I also had to go back and forth a lot for some family stuff. So I mean, it was like a
Right.
year ago back and forth over here, which was interesting,
Yeah.
but at the same time, because I spent more time at home than I do now.
Yeah.
So the visas work. It depends what you want to get. Mine is an O1 visa, which lasts
Gotcha.
3 years. 3
Okay.
years from the date you lodge it. So I mean, if they take 6 months to accept it, it's then 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Which is what happened with my first one, and I'm actually in the middle of applying for my new one.
Oh wow.
Which is not great because I mean they let go like a lot of immigration staff and things like that. So it's
Yeah.
but it's fine. Count my blessings. I'm just
You're gonna
glad
stay here, 100%. I will write a letter.
No, well, I'm actually going home, but just for like a minute.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
for like, I decided I stuck it out here, and it's been like fine. But I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
especially
Home is
after
home.
it's very locked down. It's just my lease is up here, and I'd prefer to come
Right.
back and sign a new lease when it's like a little bit more ramped up. You know?
Yeah, I mean, LA is I mean, the cases just went skyrocketing in the past couple of days, so
Right.
it
I'm
has
not
been
leaving
quite
for
difficult.
good. It's just because Australia's open right
You,
now.
I won't allow it. You've got to come back.
Oh yeah, no one is. I'm like, okay, don't yell at me. But just for a little while because I never go home, so I figured
Yeah.
now's the time to go be
Yeah.
with family.
Of course, I completely understand that. But
I'm sad about it, but it's fine. I'm over it.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm not crying. You're crying. No, but I mean, I think it's good. Like in terms of, moving, because it's a huge jump, right? Like, how old were you when you moved to LA?
Like 17 when I started, yeah.
And how old are you now?
21.
You're 21. Yeah. So and you haven't really been back to Australia like all that much, right?
I think I've been back. I mean, like I said, the first year when I was 17, I was back and forth like a yo-yo just for various reasons. But then after that, I really only went home like once a year.
Yeah. See, that's tough. Like I completely understand it. Like I don't see my family except for like once a year. This year, I don't even know if I'll get to see them. So I completely understand. Yeah. It's definitely tough. And like, especially like being in the music industry here where it's so cutthroat, like what did you find was the most challenging moving at such a young age from Australia to LA? Because like you've got a world of experience, which I want to dive into because like far out. But like, what was the biggest challenge that you found as an artist and just as a person in general?
A few things. I think as an artist, it was really navigating the sharks in the water, I think, as they would call them. I think if you haven't experienced that in LA, then you haven't experienced LA.
Then you haven't been in LA, yeah, for sure.
but I mean, at the time, you're kicking yourself for some of the people you surround yourself with. But at the end of the day, I'm grateful for whatever they gave me and whatever I learned from it, because
Yeah,
I
of
look at
course.
where I was, not necessarily musically, like obviously I've come far musically, but even just mentally and
Yeah.
business wise, I definitely have a business head on my shoulders these days, and I'm
Yeah.
very good in that regard. Whereas like 4 years ago, fresh out of dancing my butt off every day,
Right.
I had no idea what I was doing, even though
Yeah.
I was headstrong about it. So I think that it's really about navigating and finding your people over here, and that goes the same for just life in general. I
Yeah.
think it's hard coming over and you're not in school. I didn't
Right.
have a normal job because on my visa I'm not even allowed to just like work at Starbucks or something. I can
Yeah. It's
only
got to be
work
music, right?
in the entertainment industry. Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of, mine was like entertainment, and I was like Gucci. Um, but yeah, so it's actually hard to meet people, and it wasn't
Yeah.
really until this last year, I think, like 2019, where I really found like my people
Yeah.
in every area. And that's why it's like the saddest for me to leave right now, because I'm like the closest to
Yeah.
these people that I've ever really been. And I think it's Saturdays definitely was one of the places where I met like some of my best friends over here. So it's
Yeah.
crazy how it happens.
No, absolutely. I completely understand that. But that's how you know, like, I think once you get to that point where you're like, I'm actually really sad to go, and you're looking forward to coming back, that's when you know, like, okay, no, this is a good thing,
Yeah.
in a weird sense, like the fact that you're looking forward to coming back and sad about leaving is
Yeah,
like you've solidified yourself here and you've cemented
exactly.
this
It's
as your
almost
home.
like I feel more comfortable. Like in the past, when I've had to
Right.
go home, I'm like, oh, I'm just on the cusp of like something happening, but my visa was up, or I had to go home for a family
Yeah.
reason or something. Whereas now I feel like it's okay. I know that this will all be here when I come back.
Definitely. Oh, absolutely. We'll still be here
If LA
100%.
is still here, I don't even
Well, that's exactly right.
for real. It's crazy.
No, we'll definitely be here. So, okay, I just want to dive a little bit into like your experience because like oh my god, like what have you not done? So, okay, let me get this straight. So you did High School Nation, right? You did the High School Nation tour, which I saw that you did that, and in my first year of college, I discovered this. So then
Yeah.
when I saw that you did this, I was like, oh my god, I have to ask you about it because that was 25 shows and then
Yeah.
like
So
something like 40,000 people. Yeah, run me
yeah.
through this whole thing and the experience and what you
Experience.
loved and what you were like, oh god, this is
So,
exhausting.
yeah, I guess when I came over here, I was working with a few people that were really great. Star Groomer, Spectrum Talent, Mark Katz, that kind of thing. And Mark was
Yeah.
my booking agent, and he was really incredible. And we did a Pride club tour together, which was really incredible. So,
Oh,
I
cool.
did like Denver Pride, Minneapolis Pride, Philadelphia Pride, LA Pride, Chicago Pride, like all these and that it's great getting to tour over here because I'm not from here. This is
Right.
such a big country. I mean, Australia has what, like 6 states?
Yeah, and you kind of hit the like mains very quickly. And then
Yeah.
it's kind of about, I guess, like getting to the bigger venues in those states. But yeah, I totally
Yeah.
understand that.
Whereas over
Yeah.
here it's like 50, so it's crazy how much I've seen in like the short time, I guess, that I've been here. I feel like I've seen more than some Americans have, which was
Yeah.
exciting. And I loved the club Pride. Pride is like my absolute favorite. It is the most fun energy, the best crowds. It's
That's awesome. I can imagine, was it just like high energy the whole time and, everything was
oh
quite
yeah.
colorful and yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, and I just got to like wear whatever I wanted. I always had my dancers with me. I took my boys on those tours, so
Nice.
that was like really fun. I love my boys. I've had like females with me for the high school tours, which is great because I love
Yeah.
that I kind of have like I love hiring dancers and just working with dancers because I come kind of from that world and I still train
Yeah.
in that world. A lot of my friends are from that world, so I feel like 110 times better on stage when they're with me.
Yeah, of course. It's your
Um,
support as well. Like it's something to fall back on as well in the
Yeah.
sense of like, yeah, you're not alone on stage. See, I'm terrified of dancing. Well, not terrified. I'm getting more into it now. And I was
Yeah.
like, watching some of your videos, I was like, I need some lessons because like, oh,
Yeah, it's different. Whereas some people prefer to have like a guitar or like a band. It's just
exactly. It's
we
your
all need
comfort.
something up there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? think it just
Absolutely.
depends what people feel. And some people would call it a security blanket. I just think that it's something that should make you feel better. I mean, I still get scared every single time I go on stage.
How do
Every
you,
single time.
okay, so after performing to so many people and like doing, how many tours have you done now?
Yeah, so I did that Pride Club one, which was like, that was for the year of, I guess, 2018. And
Yeah.
then I did my first tour with High School Nation, which was, yeah, a month and a bit. So that was, I think, 25 shows in
Wow.
25 cities in like 33 days or something like that. And
So
we were
like no sleep. That's
so
fun.
like no sleep. We were in like a van. It was really, really fun.
That's
Loved
awesome.
that. And it was just like, yeah, me and the dancers and our little driver, who was the best person ever. I loved it.
You
And
gotta
High
love the
School,
driver. You gotta give like cookies or something to the driver like every day.
oh yeah, no, he's like, he was funny. His name's Kyle. He's the best. And he was like, didn't do like Starbucks. So every single morning before a show, because it was like the same schedule every day, which was
Right.
really good. It just became like a routine, which I loved. He'd always drive around whichever city we were in looking for like a coffee shop, you know, that does like
Oh,
coffee
okay.
art and all this great stuff. And I love that because it means I was trying
Yeah.
like real coffee. And I mean, I
Yeah.
like American coffee, but
I
so,
know being Aussie, it's kind of like our little snob thing. Like people are like, what do you mean we're
so
bad coffee? And
fishy.
I'm like, let's not
Yeah,
get
I'm
into
like,
it.
I'll let you figure that one out for yourself. It's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
Right. So I
Okay.
did that, and
Yeah.
then I did that tour again, and they were both on the West Coast. But the second one, I think, I only did half of it because then I was shooting in LA, so I had to come back. And then I was booked for the spring tour, which was going to be 6 weeks, and that was on the West Coast, whereas the others were on the East Coast. So
Yeah.
I was excited to kind of see like more of this side that I was on, and we did one day, and then it got cancelled.
Oh no. Wait, because of COVID or
Yeah.
really? Oh my
Yeah, because I
God,
mean, the
no.
schools were like the first to catch on to
To
it and like really
close.
shut it down, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. So
and
was your audience like
mm,
predominantly high school students in the sense that it was like a high school nations tour, or like what is your audience looking like now that you've done this tour, but you've also done like the Pride tour as well? Like how does your audience work? Like what's the scope?
yeah, it's actually been helpful, I think, been on being on both sides of the fence with that sort of thing, because I definitely do have, even with the other stuff I do on my social media, I have a younger female audience, which
Oh,
I love.
interesting.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
I
that's
really, really
awesome.
love because I love um, getting to talk to and kind of communicate and
Yeah.
share and be somewhat of a role model, I guess, for like young women. I think that that's a really incredible tool that people like us have with our platform. But then I
Yeah.
definitely have like a really cute chunk that is like 20 to like 30
Okay.
like adults, like, which is really, really cool because I started doing more like EDM dance music, which was
Yeah.
very good in clubs. That's how I got my 3 Billboard charts as well, from that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And then after some of that, I decided to transition more into like R&B pop sort of thing.
Yeah, because I was going to ask as well, like, in the sense of your music. So, as a dancer, when did you really start songwriting? And are you more comfortable doing EDM, or do you feel like as an artist in the past, what, 4 or 5 years, you've definitely grown, and that's kind of why you've gone more into R&B? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because like EDM is quite high energy, so I understand how that kind of like translated as a dancer. But do
Yeah.
you find like you've kind of through your life experiences from having moved and all that, like you've kind of looked more into yourself and you're like, what do I want to say rather than just like make it all about a show?
Totally. So I think that, like you said, when I started and released my first project, I think when I was 16, it was just very easy for me to go into that dance pop kind of
Sure.
world. And I think I also knew that I wanted my music to grow with me. Like, I look
Yeah,
at the
of
music I do
course.
now and I'm like, God, I wish I was doing this back then. And I'm like, kidding, I probably shouldn't have been doing this music when I was like 15. So I
Yeah.
think it makes sense that, and that was a great way for me to get in. That's how I did the club Pride kind of circuit. Like, I didn't think
Yeah.
that would work with necessarily the music I'm putting out now.
Hmm.
So I'm thankful for all of it, really, but I definitely feel a different type of way about my music now. And I think that it's
Yeah.
more, it suits more where I'm in my life now. You're right. Like, I've had more life experience in the past 2-3 years that I think has shaped the music that I put out today. And I've met the right team that I love working with. My writer, producer, partner, Linnea, is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
She's a female producer and writer, and she's just amazing to work with. And as soon as I did our first project together, we then did the whole EP together, and
That's
the new music
awesome.
I have coming out, we've done together. It's like, you just find that, like, I love working with a lot of people, and of course I'll keep working with a lot of people, but
Sure.
when it's your music and it's important to you and you want it to be the best that it can possibly be without like fooling around, she's like the person that I go to, because I just love what we create together.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Like, do you have a circle of people you write with, or like you really work with Linnea like constantly? Because she seems to be on a lot of your songs, which is awesome to see. And I think it's so special when you do find like that person or those people that you can constantly create with. Because like at the same time, like I said this the other day, to someone, like songwriting is like our diary. Like that's why I'm like, I don't want my boyfriend or someone in my sessions because like I might be writing about you, you know?
Right.
And it's
exactly.
basically like, it's basically about, you know, it's your diary. So like, do you find you're really comfortable with her, and do you find it sometimes difficult to write with people like on your outer circle? I guess it's like a two-part question.
Yeah, hold on. I have to charge my phone because it's a mess.
No, it's fine. I get you.
Yeah, so when I first came to LA, I worked with a lot of different writers, which was
because that's kind of the culture.
And I think that's where I learned a lot along the way about the kind of music I want to do, the kind of people I want to write with. The next song I actually have coming out, I did quite a while ago, and while I was in quarantine and I was working on a lot of new music, I was like, oh, I really should put something out while I'm waiting for this new stuff to come through, and it's one that I still really loved, so I'm gonna put that out. And I did that with another producer who I'll share at the time, and he was incredible to work with. But in saying that, when I did start working with Linnea, it just clicked, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's why going forward, when I have a set idea, or she sends me stuff all the time, because I mean, I love to write. It's something I really love to do, and I'm constantly still learning. But I also know that there's people out there who are just writers.
I love that you brought that up.
I hate, that's a strong word. I'm so sorry. I find it interesting when people are like, singers should be involved in every word on a song and they should write all their own music, because I personally disagree. I love being involved in the process, and I go up to Sacramento where their space is and record all the time, and we change things and we adjust things, and she'll leave like a verse open and I'll write that, things like that. But if she sends me something that she's done and I think it's dope and I want to sing it, then I'm going to sing it, regardless of whether I was involved, because that's what she does on a daily basis. She writes like 8 to 10 songs a day.
Yeah, absolutely. You know I mean? I love that you've brought this up, because I haven't really chatted to someone. Like, I chat to mostly like singer-songwriters, but you come from a very performance-heavy background, right? And I feel like I can definitely relate to that in that sense, because I didn't really... Oh, hang on, my camera... There we go. I didn't really write my first... I mean, I wrote songs, but like I didn't really write my first song till I was like 15, 16, because I was so focused all the time on like performance. So when I got more into songwriting, and like my circle is very, very heavy, like singer-songwriter, and I was like, oh, it's different for me because I focus so much on performance. And then I also had to come to the same point of, it's okay maybe not to write, because someone asked me, they were like, would you sing a song that like you didn't particularly write? And at the time I was like, whoa, like, no, like I want to write everything. Yeah, I was like, no, like this is my song, I'm going to do it all. And then I was like, yeah, but there are also literally songwriters who dedicate their life to writing songs, you know? And I think that's awesome that you bring that up, and that you can recognize that and like go, well, these are like, this is my strength here, and this person is doing such an incredible job. Like, to make that work as a team is phenomenal. So I
Yeah.
love that.
And then now
What?
on the new projects that we do, I feel way more comfortable writing than I did, even
Right.
just from learning from her for the first few things that we did. And
Yeah.
now on our latest two projects, we wrote them together, and it just like, it was so easy. We did it in like 2 days. We did 2 records, and it was amazing.
Wow. What do
Yeah.
you think changed for you that you were able to like write these songs so quickly and become more comfortable in that sense? Because songwriting's like vulnerability as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
are the songs different? Did you kind of go back to like an EDM phase, or what kind of changed for you as a writer?
I think my first EP that I did, which was like at the beginning of last year, was me transitioning from EDM pop into more pop R&B.
Okay.
Which is always what I wanted to do, and that was kind of my transition. And now these two new records, I would definitely think that they're pop R&B. Like, that's how I would describe them. So I think that, like I said, our relationship, the amount of times we've written together, made it really easy.
Really easy. Yeah.
The experiences I've had in the past year made it really easy. And yeah, I don't like to spend, some people might hate this, but I don't like to spend a lot of time on a song.
That's
and
okay.
I don't mean I go in and I just like sing it and we fix it later. It's not anything like that, but I'm coming from like a technical trained background. I'm a perfectionist. Yeah. So if I sit with something for too long, I'm going to find things wrong in it that aren't wrong in it.
Of course.
We're never wrong in it. And they're also, where they are, they're outside of Sacramento. And I love getting out of LA to record, especially on this new stuff.
It does definitely clear your head, for sure.
Yeah. When I first got here, I just did like a lot in LA, which is great. And I still collaborate with people every day, other musicians, even if it's not my music, for their music, for, you know, whatever they got going on. And I love doing that. But it's cool when I have a project in mind to kind of, and it's like set, and I just know that I'm going up really to record and play around with it, just to get out and
just to clear your head. And recording is so different to performing, which I want to talk to you a little bit about, in the sense that you love to put on a show. I can see that you work the crowd, you're on that stage, you're like, I'm here, okay, let's go. And I love that. But how does that all come to work? So is that usually your vision, same as your videos? Like, is this your vision? Is it part of your team? Like, how do you go about that?
I would say it's my vision. I mean, I'm independent at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is fun. We love it. And yeah,
has its perks and its downfalls.
I mean, I'm down to be with anyone. I love collaborations, joint ventures, things like that. And it's definitely what I'm looking for going forward with this new music. But you're right, it does have its benefits. The visuals, I think of all the concepts, so I'll work with the director that I'm going to be working with on a concept that we like. For the music, my team at the right key, I mean, they know what I want, I know what they can give me, so we just like really work through everything until we find what we like. We'll start stuff. If we don't like it, we'll move on to the next and just try something fresh.
Do you come up with your own choreography, or do you usually have a choreographer?
No, I don't really come up. Like, if it's a video without choreography and it's just like a vibe, I can do that. But I do have my own choreographers. Ronnie Love is my day one. Since I came to LA, he's done all my tour choreography. And so the Pride, the High School Nation, he's done all of that. He's my one. And then also my best friend, Ruma Noel. She's an incredible choreographer. And she's done a lot of stuff for my music videos and things like that.
That's so awesome. So who like run me through like kind of who is everyone that's on your team? Because there might be some artists on here that are like wanting to, you know, do what you're doing. So like run me through like who do you think is just super, super beneficial for you on your team?
Yeah. Well, Spectrum Talent is a great booking agent for me. They did all the Pride Club things. I did billboard campaigns with Down My Music, which was really great.
Nice.
I did, where's my brain at? On my team right now is my team at the Right Key for all things music. They're incredible. My mum,
always gotta have mum on board.
Always got a mum on board. She's a real one. She gets bitchy, but she's nice.
Yeah, but that's mums.
That's mums.
We'll probably be the same way at some point.
She's gonna watch this and be like, sick, thanks, bro.
Yeah. We
And
love
then,
you,
yeah,
Mum.
love you. Choreography wise, Ruma Noel, Ronnie Love, Bryn Nicole. If you're looking for a studio to train at, Playground LA is the
I've
place.
heard Playground, yeah. That looks
That's
so
my,
intimidating to me. I'm like, oh
it's
my
not.
God.
It's not. And trust me, I know you look at me and you think, wow, she's a dancer too, but I'm not a dancer compared to dancers. And
Right.
I loved when I first went to Playground, and it's still the same to this day. Yes, there's a lot of people in there, but they have beginner classes, they have beginner intermediate classes, and then they have intermediate advanced.
Okay,
So
different
you can
levels.
really get all sorts of levels. I find it to be a very judgmental free zone.
Oh, that's
And
great.
even if they're filming, I mean, they film most classes just because Kenny, the one of the owners, along with Robin Anton, like they both do videography. So I mean, they'll just like whip out a camera and film class.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like a high pressure situation. I don't know what it is that they did to make it feel like such a carefree space, even though you're like, stressed and working and it's hot. But it's my favorite place to train.
No, that's awesome. Because, yeah, you often look at the videos and you're
And
like,
that's a
oh my
plug.
God, everyone's so good. But yes, if you're looking for training, Playground, I've heard great things about Playground. A couple of my friends have done it as well. I've never mustered up the courage. But maybe one day we'll do a class together.
Oh my gosh.
If you want to take a beginner's class.
Let's do it. No, I can tell you all the teachers are amazing and we can definitely do a class together because I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. So you mentioned before that you were independent. So would you sign with the label if one came along? And what do you love about being independent? And what are you kind of like wishing that, you know, you think would maybe further your career a little bit more? Because you've done so much being independent. Like, it's fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah. I would definitely sign with a label. And I mean, it's not like there hasn't been offers and things like that. It's just, I think you need to go somewhere where it really feels right for you. And
of course, yeah.
the deal feels right for you. What a lot of places are doing now, which has me excited, especially going forward with this new music, is joint ventures. So it's not like a 3-year 360 deal sort of thing where you're signing away all your music. It's like they'll sign you just for one song or one EP or one project. And it's kind of like they want to see that you're going to put as much into it as they are. Yeah. And they don't mean like financially, they mean that whatever they're going to give you, you're going to do something really cool with it. And a lot of places are doing that now, which I think is really exciting because I don't know. I mean, if I was to get a 3-year deal with somewhere where I felt like this was the place to be, I would love it. I'm not kicking those sorts of things, but I think that a lot of artists starting out, you know, we're all just starting out really.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to just try out one sort of deal with somewhere because not only does it have to feel right for you, it has to feel right for them.
Absolutely. I think that's a great point. Like it's quite intimidating to sign away everything for, well, not everything. Luckily the deals have changed a little bit, but definitely with, you know, hopes and aspirations. And I think being such a big performer as well, like if you get an exciting deal, like that's awesome. But then being locked in for 3 years could get quite, you know, may not go the right way. And like it's kind of like having a single deal or a marketing deal or something. It's like almost like an audition, and I love that that they're doing that as well. Because it's less risk for them in the sense of like signing you for 3 years and then
totally. And people think that label deals are just like they're going to put all this money in and you get all this promo and stuff out of it, but that's all yes, it's their money, but that's money that they expect you to recoup.
Yeah, exactly.
So it also almost makes me stressed when I see new people sign with labels and it's like all this money going into it. I'm like, no matter how great you are, that's like a lot to get back when no one knows you yet. So that's why I think that the joint ventures are really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So are you still being independent, which I'm stoked about. I think it's freaking awesome.
We love it.
Hopefully when COVID, you know, runs its shop a little bit, runs off away. What's kind of looking like, you know, the future looking like for you in the sense of like, do you want to be doing more tours? Would you rather focus on like local shows in LA? Like what's kind of your hopes and dreams there?
I think it would just depend. Like, I was meant to do 2 of the High School Nations tours this year, so
Yeah.
I'll just do those whenever they're rescheduled. If it's next year,
Yeah.
the year after, those are my favorite tours, and I love, like I said, connecting with a young audience. I
Yeah.
think
What
that
makes
that's
you
a
love
really,
like the young audience so much?
I think I've just always had a stance, especially on girl power and young female development. I think that it's
Definitely.
such a vulnerable thing, especially over here in the US. I find that it's
Yeah.
quite different, and it's just the smallest thing can change a way that a woman can like feel about herself, I guess. And I just
Yeah,
think we're so,
absolutely.
I don't want to say that we're vulnerable, but at a young age, it's just you're surrounded by so much. And I just think it's important for us to come together, and us as young adult women as well, and not like old women, but like young adult women.
Mm-hmm.
We're the kind of people that can help get younger women to a place where they feel comfortable going into their young adulthood. You know what I mean? I just think it's
Mm-hmm.
such like a, it's such a tricky path, and it's hard being a woman, man. Whew.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it definitely is.
yeah, so I just like the kids you meet on these tours are just so adorable and so much fun
Yeah.
and so smart. And like on a lot of these tours, we'll do like panels,
Mm-hmm.
like Q&As in the morning at some of the schools. And some of the schools we go to, they specifically have like dance or drama or theatre departments. And we'll just do a panel with them rather than the whole school.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are just so creative and so
Oh, that's
hyped
awesome.
and so driven, I guess, at such a young age, which I just love.
Well, I
And
mean, I think it's something you can relate to, like having been 16, releasing your first, sorry, can't talk,
okay.
first project at 16. Like, do you kind of see yourself in their shoes? And like, what's often the advice that you're giving like these young women? Because you're right. Like, I mean, I think the world in general at the moment is tough for anybody, but definitely like being a female going into the industry can be quite a challenge. And I think it's so awesome that you are taking those steps to be like a young female role model,
Yeah.
because it is still hard to find, kind of role models as a female that you're a performer and you're, figuring your way out too. Like, what's your advice? So, like, what is often the advice that you give to like the young girls that you meet and young women?
I'm here. Sorry, my charger fell out. We're ready.
No, you're good.
The advice I give to young women. I think it would be that it's important for you to, I guess, treat yourself the way that you treat others,
Ages?
because I think I'm such a mess. I think that we're often, I know that really early on I was like always giving and just like there for other people and not there for myself.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that it's, I mean, not everyone's like this, but I think it's really easy to be nice to your best friend and be there for them and give them loads of love and support, or to a significant other or something like that. And you don't always give that to yourself.
Yeah,
And
definitely. It's
I
it's
think
definitely
that,
like, sorry, yeah, continue.
I just think as a young woman, the words you say to yourself are the most important, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I mean, I've been very close to people that have struggled mental health wise with their image, basically. I
Mm.
think that that's what a lot of young women, older women, are vulnerable to. Because, yeah, that's why I love when I get to go to these panels, I get to support how driven and creative and just excited they are for the future. And I think that they
Yeah.
don't always have people around them that are hyping them up the way that we should. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
now you and
absolutely.
I are at an age where we have friends that hype us up all the time. And we
Yeah,
go to events
definitely.
where other musicians are hyping each other up, and it's incredible. But it doesn't start that way from the very beginning.
It
And you don't
doesn't,
want people
no.
to, their fire to burn out or to lose hope before they get to the place where, like, I remember when I was in school and like someone close to me was getting bullied, I'd be like, just hold on, because you're going to get to college and it's all going to be so much different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
compare college to high school a lot of the
Oh
time.
my God.
Like, I didn't really do either, to be honest, but I know the differences.
Oh,
I
it was a
just,
wild difference. Like, I did
yeah.
both. I did college. I went to Berkeley College of Music, and
Oh, incredible.
like I did high school, but like I hated high school. Like I hated high school, at least in my senior year, because it was like I was doing music and I was doing a bunch of things and I just couldn't really relate to and I was like working every weekend, so I couldn't really relate to what was going on in the
Mm-hmm.
high school walls kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like nothing against the people I went to school with, but it was just I
No,
felt a bit
for real.
different.
I mean,
But
both my
yeah, it's so
siblings, I hope
important.
they don't mind me saying this, but both my siblings left school early because they're both very bright.
Mm.
Not at all like me. Whoa. My brother's like a paralegal and my sister's like a vet nurse. So, you know, they make good money.
I get
Um,
you. Yeah.
yeah. And they both left school early for various reasons like that. And it was really a struggle for them. And then they both
Yeah.
got to college. And I mean, my brother now is just like, I'm so proud of him because he's such, like, looking at where he is now and where he was then. Not that I'm saying he wasn't great back then, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
just,
No, it
he's so
definitely
much
helps you
more
grow.
comfortable with himself, so much more
Yeah.
confident. I mean, he's engaged now and all this shit. I was
Oh my
like, all
god,
right, man, talk about 0 to
exciting.
100. I know, you know, wedding.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
an open bar.
Are you gonna sing?
Yeah, and I just, am I gonna
Ah,
sing?
love that. Sing.
No. Maybe I'll do videography instead. Sing, gross. I hate
You're
singing.
like not singing, but I will hit that open bar for
Yeah,
sure.
not singing, but don't worry, I'll take care of that part for you.
Yeah, love that.
They would not want me to sing. Bitchy. Yeah, and I just like think that that's where a lot of young people, especially in the US,
Yeah,
there's so many schools, so many kids from all
yeah,
different backgrounds and places, and when you're young is when you make mistakes as well, even being on the other side of fence, if you're like the bully, the one bullying rather than the one
mm.
getting bullied. And I think that the ones that are bullying are almost in the same vulnerable state, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I
Not
think,
always, but
yeah.
it just, I
No,
just think
I
it's the
think
most
bullying.
important time for change and just
Yeah,
deciding which way you're going to go, I guess. And I just love being there in any way to help support, make them feel good. You never know what someone is going through. So
yeah,
I just think that if I can even be there on stage with them, in a panel with them for one day and make them
yeah,
feel good about themselves, and just they always have so much fun, which is the
yeah.
best part. And that's
Oh,
why it makes them one of the best audiences, because they're giving you so much energy that you're like, you're giving
yeah.
too much energy back. And then I'm like out of breath after one song. I need to
Yeah.
chill.
Oh, I love that though. Like, I love that you can recognize your audience and that you are like, you have this perspective of, it's, you don't know what that person is going through. And that time where you are on stage, like, that's maybe their time where they're able to escape whatever they're going on. And you are that
Exactly.
outlet for them. And that is the beauty of performing. And like for me, I can tell for you as well, that's like what excites me is like in this moment, in this hour, in this 20 minutes, I don't care how long it is, for just this song, like forget everything else that's going on and just be with me in this space
Yeah.
and give me everything, because I want to
Yeah.
give you everything. But
And
I
that's
love that. I really,
exactly.
really love that. Like
And that's kind of
that's so
cool with
beautiful.
the tours I do as well, like with the Pride one. That was, it was incredible because everyone there was to celebrate being themselves, which is what
Right.
made it, bug, sorry, which is what made it exciting. And then the high school ones, we had various artists on the High School Nation tour, which is great. They have a lot of
Yeah.
diversity when it comes to styles of artists. And I mean,
Yeah.
we had like Natalie, she's an incredible rock artist that was on our tours. And it's really cool because there's always like this really cool group at all these high schools that are into like rock, heavy metal.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
love seeing a dope female artist up
Female
on
artist.
stage, killing it, singing
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Because they feel seen, they feel identified. They don't feel like it's a weird thing that they're into that because they're seeing this amazing young girl up there doing it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
totally. That's so how many females are in the or like what's kind of like the diversity in the on the tour?
It really depends. Every time I've been on tour, it's been different people. I think I've only
Okay.
been on tour the same with like one artist multiple
Okay.
times. Another R&B artist. She's great. But otherwise, it's really diverse. So we have like rock, contemporary pop, There's always a boy band.
Love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, a male artist, a female artist, you know,
Yeah, so quite
artists
different.
of
Yeah.
color, artists from other countries. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's great. It's a good
That's
diverse little
awesome.
group.
I'm glad that I'm glad to hear like it's quite diverse. So
Yeah,
I have a couple more questions before I let you go.
go for it.
But so what, a two-part question. What do you, you, as I said, like you love putting on a show, and what to you is really important when you are performing? Like one thing that you're like, I need this, it's gonna make my show. I guess it's your dances in that sense, or like what for you makes a performance a good performance?
Um, like I said, I think it's reading the room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I always have my show. I always go up there with the basic idea of what I'm gonna do, but it really does just depend. I don't want it to seem too rehearsed. If I'm
Yeah.
somewhere where they're giving me lots of energy, I'm gonna give them every bit of energy I have, even if I sound shit singing my songs because I'm tired. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because I'm not there to sing a perfect performance for myself or anything like that. I'm there for them and to entertain them. Whereas
Yeah.
if I'm in a venue that's a little bit more, low key, chill, we're just here to
Yeah.
have a good time. Not here for a long time, just a good time. I'm down to just be like more conversational, and I want to like talk to my audience and just see how they're doing and make them feel good.
Yeah, of course.
Always
What
have to
was
have
your
order on stage.
what was your favorite song to perform?
Um, Probably the second song off my EP, Keeper,
Yeah, I
which
love
was
that
super
song.
funny. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because every time I said it, none of them knew what I was saying because I said keeper.
Oh my
And
God, that's so funny.
I had to say keeper. And then I
Keeper?
also have girl boss, and none of them got it, so I had to say girl boss. And I was like, you know what? I'll just be American. It's fine. Ugh. But it was funny. But
Freaking
I love
awesome.
keeper because I did like a back and forth thing with
Yeah.
them on stage, like where they sung with me, where I taught them and then they did it. And it was so much
Oh,
fun, and they were always so good at it. There was never one school that was like not into it or wasn't getting it. They like it was easy, but I mean they all like got it, and it was the best
that's
time. And then we also
awesome.
do in my set, because some of the schools like really know you and some of them don't. I always like to put one cover in, and normally that's
Mm.
a cover where I do more dance. Like I take my
Okay,
time,
yeah.
like I sing, but then there's like a cool like remix or dance break. Like the first time I think I did a Drake song, and then I don't remember what I did the second time. Oh, I did Level Up, duh. And then
Level up.
last time I
Level
had
up.
Motivation, which was great on the
Oh,
day
that's
that we did
awesome.
it. Yeah, so it was really cool, and often the crowd like really loves that because I always pick a song
Yeah.
like not overdone but really known, so it's like they can really go off. So that's the most fun.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
So if you could go and be an opener for a tour, who would you want to open for?
Oh my god, stress. Maybe like Kaylani,
Mm, that'd be a vibe.
Summer Walker,
Yes.
Losing It, Khalid, something like that.
Yeah.
Rizzo.
Okay. Love that. Oh,
Yeah.
fire.
The,
Yes.
the fire ones, yeah.
That'd be
I
awesome.
can think of
No,
them.
I also love that you said before, like you had to say girl power. I have a song called I Can Do Better, and I would always be like, I can do better. And I'm just like,
Better?
this is,
I know.
I am Nina Baumer. And I'm just like, flip, no one can understand me. But no, that's so funny. But,
I know, it's
oh, are you still
crazy.
there?
It happens all the time. And it's not their fault, but
Yeah.
if I'm asking them to sing something, then I definitely need them to understand it. So I have to do it American.
But that's okay. Do they ever get like a surprise? Like if you start talking and it's in your Aussie accent, people are like, whoa, hang on.
At like local shows, definitely, but on tour, on like the Pride tours, yes, they get a surprise, which is really fun. But
That's
on the
awesome.
High School Nation tours, the DJ Unique, who I freaking love, he's the DJ on all of the tours, and he's incredible. You guys should go check him out. He always
That's
introduces me
awesome.
as an Australian to get the crowd hype because they love a little bit of
Nice.
energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. That's awesome.
They
So
still love.
you said you just had two projects that you wrote. So are we going to be like expecting some new music?
Uh, yes. So like I said, I have one that's kind of old, but I'm still digging. So I think I'm gonna drop that to see y'all through. And then these two new ones, I'm definitely excited about. I think I'll probably just spread them out as two singles to
Yeah.
tie me over till the end of the year. See what I do when I go home, or if I do more when I come back. And then I'm shooting two visuals for them as well. Socially distanced, just me, myself, and I.
I get you.
Next week. So I'm shooting both of those, which is really
Awesome.
fun. I'm shooting with
Do
a
we get
new
a
video
little,
who I'm really excited
ooh,
about. Yeah.
okay. Is it going to be dance heavy again, or are you taking a bit of a different direction?
I mean, my ideal in my mind when I was creating these songs was to have dances, but then Rona hit, and I think that's
Rona
just safer
hit.
and easier for me to probably just freaking Rona. I think it's
Freaking
safer and
Rona.
easier and more respectful for me to just do it by myself. So I decided
Yeah.
for now I'm just going to keep them as solo videos. They're still going to be like a vibe. And the videographer I'm using, Red Llama Media, he does a lot of dance videos, which is why I picked him because um, he shoots a lot of classes. And I did do a video with him a while back, like a rehearsal video. And he's just really great to work with. Really
That's
easy,
awesome.
really talented. So I'm excited for that. And then I thought, if they're doing really well and I'm feeling it when I go home, since it's more open in like Sydney and things like that, I could always shoot a dance video since I have
Yeah, of
a lot of
course. I mean,
incredible dance friends back there.
yeah, and I mean, it's like another opportunity for like more content, right? You're like, this is the dance video,
The more the
so
merrier.
the
Content
more
queen.
the merrier. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you are also a content queen. Like, you're also like an influencer while being like a freaking quadruple threat. So, like, are you finding that with your audience as well? Like, you are using your, like, it's important to you to kind of work with the brands that fit your artistry, or more that are tailored towards like your audience? Like, how does that work being like an influencer slash artist?
Yeah, I mean it's different. Like you said, since I am independent, I've really learned to like wear all creative hats. So I do like a lot of different
Yeah.
things: photography, videography, music, dance,
Yeah.
web design, all writing, all that fun stuff. I'm really into it. And then content creation was just something that came out of it because I did love photography and design and
Yeah.
things like that. And it really just came up out of nowhere. My roommate was a content creator, so I used to shoot a lot for her. So then it kind of
Got you.
just was like, all right, I'm here too. Might as well
I'm
make
gonna
it
do
happen.
it.
And I'm so inspired by content creators where that's what they do for a living, because some of the stuff that they create, not even necessarily for brands, but just on a day-to-day basis, is just, it really is like art design
It
through
is, yeah.
photography. And the things that they think of, I hate when they get discounted, because I think that it is, you know, it's not like they're just standing in a bikini in every photo. Like, some of them come up with
Yeah.
really cool, creative,
Yeah.
meaningful concepts. And I think that since a lot of them do have a platform with hundreds of thousands of followers,
Yeah.
they're bringing something good. I love scrolling down my feed and seeing some pretty flower paint situation.
Yeah.
And then when there are things like world issues going on, like Black Lives Matter, which is happening right now and is a movement we're continuing to focus on, it was incredible platform to continue making that art, but in a way where it was focusing on the movement as well,
No,
which
absolutely.
which is
I,
important, because that's
yeah.
how the people that follow them are going to see it. And I was sharing a lot of incredible Black artists on my page. I still am every day on my story, because
Yeah.
I think it was one of the main ways that I think a lot of people were learning as well, because obviously this was a time for learning and growing and speaking up, not being muted, but also not speaking louder than the voices that are currently living and experiencing these sorts of things and have the most knowledge on the situation. There was a really cool, I'm sure you saw an Instagram thing called Share the Mic. And
I
it
did
was,
say that. Yeah.
yeah, where it was Black women creators,
Yeah.
artists, activists, took over the pages of other non-women of color
Yeah.
celebrities, things like that, which is great, because I saw a lot of people with a lot of like hundreds of thousands, millions of followers being like, I don't know what to do. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to cancel you. It's okay. You're learning. But if you don't know what to do and you have this incredible platform, give it to someone who does know what to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and a lot of
No,
artists
I
did that,
totally
and I
agree.
loved sharing. Like, so many artists were creating like ways to, like, art revolved around where to donate and where to do this and where to do that and what to sign and what to focus on, which I think was a great tool to use on a platform, especially like Instagram, where it is a photo based platform at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
completely agree. And I love that you brought that up. And yeah, like I love that you brought up the fact that like a lot of people do look at content creators in the sense of like, oh, it's, you know, they're just influencers. But like it's a new way of marketing for
Mm-hmm.
one, and it really is a job. Like it's a full-time job. Like social media, we have to move with the times, right? And like social
Mm-hmm.
media has become a job, and like it is really challenging to constantly be creative, especially when you
Yeah.
are independent and you don't have someone that's like, hey, you should take a photo of this and you should do that and you should do this. Like constantly coming up with not just like content but creative ideas to get to different audiences is it's a skill. It's 100% a skill, and
Yeah.
it's as creative as like writing a song.
Mm-hmm. I mean, content
So
creators
yeah,
are
definitely
really
agree.
no different than a photographer for a brand when you think about it.
Yeah, yeah,
They're creating
absolutely.
so many content creators, you don't even see half the work that they create for brands. And
Yeah,
they don't even post that, you don't even see that it's for a specific brand. And I think you were saying
absolutely.
the kind of brands I work with, I just go on a brand by brand basis. You know, I have
Yeah,
to align with the brand's values, and it has to be something that I feel is appropriate for my audience and things like that. So, I
yeah.
mean, I don't do a lot of it, but when I do, it just
Yeah, but it's got
has to
to
feel
like align with your like your artistry and your platform and everything. So I completely understand that.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have one more question for you.
Go.
I ask every artist that comes on here, what is the one album, one song, or like the artist you're listening to at the moment?
You really caught me on the spot.
Or two artists.
No, I got it. Yeah, okay, I'll say five. Here we go. Okay.
There we go. Love it.
Kiana Lede. I think
Love
that's how
her.
you say her name. She's
Yep.
incredible, and she just dropped an album, which unbelievable.
Oh my God,
Uh,
I didn't know she dropped an album. I have to check that out.
yeah, it's called Kiki. It's really good. I'm obsessed with it.
Yay!
What else? Sinead Harnett.
Oh yeah,
She's
freaking love
a
her. Yeah.
yeah, she's a British artist. She's really, really cool. I saw her live at the Forum or Fonda. Fonda? I feel like it was Fonda. Fonda. And it was
Fonda.
really cool. Yeah, it was like an intimate show. It was really, really good.
Her
Incredible live.
song Quarantine Queen just had me like
That resonated with
dazed.
me. I felt
Absolutely
that.
dazed. Just her voice though, I was like, okay, yes,
Yeah,
girl.
for real. I'm trying to think of other female artists I love. Her.
Love her.
H-E-R.
Yes.
I always say that, and I'm like, I don't know if people say her or H-E-R.
Hate you.
Just her.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
guess who it is. Her. JoJo.
Oh yeah, she came back strong.
Very, very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just dropped an album as well, and she's dropping an acoustic album to that album, and I get
Awesome.
it. People do that.
And then give me one more just because we got limited time available.
Lizzo, duh, there it is. Ooh.
Love
And that's
that.
my 5 female artists of the month.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being on with me today. I'm
Thank you
stoked.
for
I'm
having
just like
me.
so excited that we got to chat.
I know, this
But
is
if we
best.
don't chat before, please have a safe trip to Australia and just be safe and be well and
I
stay in
will.
touch. Let me
And
know when you
thank
get
you
back.
for doing these, because this is such an incredible way
Yeah,
to connect
of
all these
course.
artists. So you're the
Of
best,
course.
and I love you, and you're
I
my
love you. Bye,
Okay,
gorgeous.
bye
Have a
everyone.
great day.
Thanks for watching.
All right, that was Emily Perry. She joined me today for Shut In and Listen. If you don't know her, please, please, please go check out her music. As she said, she's dropping 2 projects or a project coming up. So, oh my God, plus videos. So if you're not going to go check her out, well, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. So make sure you go check her out. And if you only just started streaming, then I will put this on my IGTV and you can check it out there. Next week, I'm coming in hot with Autumn Jones. She's an incredible soul R&B female artist. So excited to have her on But I'm going to head off for today. Enjoy the rest of your day, wherever you may be in the world. Lots of love to you all. Mwah.